Welcome to Stoic Heartbeat, where love embraces wisdom. You've been fed lies your entire life. They told you to be nice, to be agreeable, to always put her feelings above your own. They said if you just worked hard enough, loved her deeply enough, and did everything right, you'd be respected, appreciated, and valued. But let me ask you something. How's that working out for you? Be honest. Has all that effort made you feel stronger? Has it earned you the respect you thought it would? Or has it left to you feeling empty, frustrated, sitting there, wondering what the hell went wrong? Because here's the hard truth. It's not her, it's you. You see, you've been living your life by someone else's rules, chasing someone else's approval. But deep down, you know something isn't right. You're here because you're tired of feeling powerless. You're ready to stop living like an extra in someone else's movie and finally step into the role. You were meant to play the lead. This is your wake-up call today. I'm going to share 7 rules that will completely transform the way you see yourself, how you carry yourself, and how others, especially women, respond to you. But listen carefully, because this isn't about playing games. This isn't about tricking anyone or pretending to be someone you're not. This is about reclaiming your power. You are the prize. You are the leader. You are the man you were born to be, but only if you're ready to take that step. So buckle up, stay with me, and don't blink, because every second you spend here is a step closer to the man you've always wanted to become. All right, if you're ready, let's dive in. Music. Rule number 1, stop seeking validation. Rule number 1, stop seeking music validation. Every man's been there, that nagging urge to be liked, to be accepted, to feel like you're enough. You've probably done it without even realizing. You bent over backward just to get her attention. You double texted after she left you on read, hoping maybe she just missed it. First time you rephrased your words carefully, walking on eggshells just to avoid upsetting her. And for what did it earn you more respect? Did it make her appreciate you more? No, it got you the exact opposite. Because here's the hard truth. Seeking validation is the fastest way to lose respect. See, women are wired to test you, not your muscles, but your mind. Every time you chase her approval, you fail that time test. You're showing her that your confidence depends on her reaction, that your sense of worth is something she can hand out or take away. And here's what most men don't realize. Women don't respect a man whose worth they can define. They might like the attention for a while, sure, but deep down, they're drawn to something else. They're drawn to strength, to independence, to a man who doesn't need their approval to feel good about himself. Think of it this way. Picture a party. There's a guy hanging on her every word, laughing too hard at her jokes, nodding at everything she says like it's the most brilliant thing he's ever heard. He's checking his phone every 5 seconds, hoping, praying she's texted him back. He's like a puppy, desperate for scraps of attention. And then, across the room, there's another guy. He's laughing with his friends, caught up in his own world, living his life. Like she's not even there. He's not ignoring her to play games. He's just genuinely focused on what he's doing. Now tell me, who do you think she's drawn to? It's not the guy chasing her. It's the guy chasing his purpose. The man who doesn't need her validation because he's already validated himself. That's the man who intrigues her because he's not offering BR up his worth for her to judge. He knows who he is, and that kind of self-assuredness, that's magnetic. So here's what you need to understand. Stop making her the center of your world. Make yourself the prize. When you stop seeking validation, you break free from the chains of insecurity that have been holding you back. You stop living for her attention and you start living for your own growth, your own goals. And you know what happens when you do that. She'll notice. She'll wonder why you're not chasing her like everyone else. And in that wondering, she'll be drawn to you. But the best part, you won't even care because by then, you'll realize you never needed her validation in the first place. Rule number 2. Master the art of rule number 2. Master the art of silence. silence. Now that you stopped chasing validation, let's talk about something even more powerful. Silence. See, most men think they need to explain themselves, argue their point, or defend their actions to gain respect. They believe that if they just say the right thing, they'll win her over. But here's the truth. Words are cheap. Silence is power. Imagine this. She's testing you, throwing little jabs, questioning your decisions, maybe even bringing up something she knows will annoy you. She's waiting for you to react, to get defensive, to prove yourself. And what do most guys do? They take the bait, they argue, they explain, they try to fix the situation. But what they don't realize is the moment you react, you've already lost. You've handed her control on a silver platter. But what if you did the opposite? What if, instead of explaining yourself or trying to defend your actions, you stayed calm? What if you just looked her in the eye, gave a little smile and said nothing? No frustration, no anger, just unbothered silence. That silence speaks louder than any words ever could. It tells her you're in control, that her words don't shake you, that you decide how you react. Not her. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said you conquers you. Think about that. Every time you get pulled into an argument, every time you let her words rattle you, you're giving her power. But when you stay silent, when you remain composed, you conquer yourself. Silence isn't weakness. It's the ultimate display of strength. It shows emotional stability. And trust me, that's a trait women find irresistibly attractive. When you don't react, you create a space where she starts to wonder, why isn't he affected? Why isn't he engaging? That curiosity draws her in. It shifts the power dynamic without you having to lift a finger. So next time she tries to pull you into a pointless argument or throws a jab just to get a rise out of you, remember this: silence isn't the absence of words. It's the presence of power. And when you master that, you're not just controlling the situation, you're controlling yourself. And that's the kind of strength no one can. Music, ignore. Rule number 3, build. And rule number 3, build an irresistible life. Irresistible life. Now that you've stopped seeking validation and mastered the power of silence, it's time to focus on the most important piece of all your life. Let me ask you something real quick. Is your life a masterpiece, or are you just existing? Be honest. Are you waking up every day with a purpose, chasing goals that set your soul on fire? Or are you sitting around waiting for her to text back, hoping that somehow a relationship will give your life meaning? If you're waiting for her to complete you, you've already lost. Women aren't drawn to men who need them. They're drawn onto men who are already complete, already thriving, already living a life that's so full and exciting that having her around is just the cherry on top, not the whole damn cake. Think about the men you admire, the ones who seem to have it all together. Are they sitting around obsessing over some girl who left them on raid? No, they're too busy winning. They're building businesses, mastering new skills, hitting the jai, him traveling the world, and creating a life that's so magnetic. People, men and women alike, can't help but notice. That's the kind of man you need to become. But here's the part most guys don't want to hear. It takes work. It takes discipline. It means putting down your phone, stopping the endless scroll through social media, and actually getting out there to build something real. A man with purpose. That's irresistible when you're focused on your own growth. When you're so locked in on your mission that you don't even notice whether she's watching or not. That's when you become truly attractive. When you don't need her attention, that's when she wants it most. So stop fantasizing about the perfect relationship. Stop thinking that she is the missing piece in your life. You're the missing piece. Start building, start growing, create a life that's so fulfilling, so exciting, so rich with purpose that she feels lucky just to be part of it. And when you do that, when you live a life that's driven by your own passions and ambitions, you won't just attract women. You'll attract respect, success, and a sense of fulfillment that no relationship can ever give you. Remember, your life isn't about her, it's about you. And when you finally get that, everything changes. Before we move on to Rule 4, we want to take a moment to thank you for accompanying us halfway through this video journey. In every moment we can learn and grow, and the fact that you are here listening and reflecting with us is a tremendous gift that I cherish every minute to help us spread these valuable lessons to even more people. Please hit the like and share buttons for this video. Each share is a small but meaningful act, much like the timeless lesson Stoicism offers. Let's continue exploring and embracing these everlasting pieces of wisdom together. Once again, thank you for your continued rule. Charge 4. Set boundaries. Like a king. Support rule number 4. Set boundaries like a king. Now that you've started at building an irresistible life, let's get into something just as important. Setting boundaries, because without boundaries, let's be honest, you're just a doormat, a man without self-respect. And trust me, no one, not women, not your friends, not your boss, respects a man who doesn't respect himself. Here's the thing about boundaries that most guys don't get. Women will test you. They'll push your limits, cross lines, and see how far they can go, not because they're being malicious or trying to hurt you, but because they want to know your strength. It's human nature. They want to see if you're a man who stands firm, or if you'll fold the moment there's a little pressure, and every time you let something slide, because you're afraid of upsetting her, afraid of losing her, you fail that test. You're showing her that your need for her approval is stronger than your respect for yourself, and nothing kills attraction faster than that. Remember, setting boundaries isn't about controlling her. It's about controlling yourself. It's about knowing your worth and standing firm in it, no matter what. You're not setting boundaries to punish her or to prove a point. You're doing it because you have standards. And when you have standards, you don't compromise them for anyone. Picture this: she's late for the 3rd time. Most guys would brush it off, maybe make a little joke about it, but deep down, they're annoyed. They don't say anything because they don't want to rock the boat, but not you. Instead, you look at her calmly and say, "I value my time. If you can't respect that, we've got a problem." No anger, no drama, just facts. You're letting her know clearly and confidently what you expect. And in that moment, she realizes you're not like the other guys who let her do whatever she wants. You're a man who knows his worth and isn't afraid to stand up for it. Epictetus once said, "You are not a product of what happens to you, but how you respond to it." Setting boundaries is about how you respond. It's about choosing to respect yourself first. And when you do that, when you set your boundaries and enforce them without hesitation, people, including her, will start to respect you. They might push back at first, sure, but deep down, they'll admire you for standing your ground. Because here's the bottom line: a man who doesn't set boundaries is a man who doesn't know his value, but a man who stands firm, who knows where his lines are and isn't afraid to hold them. That's a man who demands respect. And once you start living like that, you'll never settle for anything less. Music. Rule number 5. Detach emotionally. Again, rule number 5. Detach emotionally. Now that you've set your boundaries, it's time to take things a step further. Emotional detachment, and let me be clear, right from the start, detaching emotionally doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you're cold or heartless. It means you care more about your peace than her approval, and that's the key to becoming truly unshakable. See, too many men get overly invested way too soon. They wear their heart on their sleeve. War Orbat, thinking vulnerability will win her over. They believe that if they just show her how much they care, she'll appreciate it, respect it, and stay. But here's the truth. Most men don't want to hear when you invest too much. Too soon, you become predictable and easy to control, and predictability. That's the enemy of attraction. Women will test your emotional reactions, whether they realize it or not. They'll pull back, they'll cancel plans, they'll become less responsive, not because they're trying to hurt you, but because they want to see how you handle it. And the more emotionally reactive you are, the less respect she has for you. Because when you panic, when you start texting more, calling more, begging for answers, you're showing her that your emotions are in her hands, and nothing kills attraction faster than a man who's emotionally dependent. But not you. You're different. Imagine this. She starts pulling away. She's not texting back as quickly. She cancels plans last minute. Most guys would spiral. They'd flutter with messages, overthink every little thing, and try to fix whatever they think went wrong. But not you. You stay calm, focused, unbothered. You keep hitting the gym. You keep crushing it at work. You keep living your life like nothing's changed, because the truth is, nothing has changed. Her pulling back doesn't shake your foundation. You were solid before her, and you'll be solid after. And that silence, that calm confidence, it drives her crazy. She starts wondering why you're not chasing her. She questions why you're not reacting like every other guy, and that intrigue, that's what pulls her closer. Because you've shown her that you're not just another man desperate for her attention. You're a man who values his peace above all else. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, taught us to focus only on what we can control. You can't control her feelings. You can't control her actions, but you can control yours. And that's where your power lies. When you detach emotionally, you reclaim that power. You become untouchable. Because no matter what happens, whether she stays or goes, you're good, you're grounded, you're in control. And that's the kind of energy that not only draws people in, it keeps them there, but more importantly, it keeps you centered. No matter what life throws your way, emotional detachment isn't about her, it's about you. And once you master that, you'll realize you never needed anyone else to feel. Rule number 6, be unapologetically authentic. Now that you've learned how to detach emotionally, it's time to tap into something even deeper. Your authenticity, because most men, they water themselves down. They avoid conflict. They noodle on to everything she says. They hide their real opinions. Because deep down, they're terrified of rejection. They think that if they just agree with her, if they don't rock the boat, she'll like them more. But here's the harsh truth. When you sacrifice your authenticity to gain her approval, you lose her respect. Women don't want a yes man. They don't want someone who agrees with everything just to stay in their good graces. What they do want is a man who knows exactly who he is, what he stands for, and isn't afraid to stand by it, even if that means disagreeing with her, because that kind of confidence, that's rare, that's powerful, and it's something people can feel the moment you walk into a room. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." And that's exactly what this is about. Be unapologetically, you speak your mind, live your truth, stand firm in your beliefs, even if it makes things uncomfortable. Because when you're authentic, when you're real, you send a clear message. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. And trust me, nothing is more attractive than a man who doesn't need anyone's approval to feel good about himself. Think about it. The most charismatic men, are they the ones who agree with everyone, who blend in, who play it safe? No, they're the ones who speak with conviction, who aren't afraid to challenge the status quo, who live their lives on their own terms. That's what authenticity looks like. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real. And in a world full of people pretending to be something, their not being real is irresistible. Remember, authenticity isn't just about what you say. It's about how you live. It's about having the courage to pursue your passions, even if they don't align with what everyone else expects. It's about setting boundaries and sticking to them. Even when it's hard, it's about being honest with yourself about who you are and what you want, and refusing to settle for anything less. When you live authentically, you don't just attract women, you attract the right women, the ones who respect you for who you are, not for who they want you to be. And more than that, you attract opportunities, friendships, and experiences that align with your true self. Because when you're unapologetically you, the world responds. So stop hiding, stop pretending, stop trying to be what you think people want. Be you fully, unapologetically, authentically. Because that's the man people respect, and that's the man you are always meant to. Music rule 7. Don't break her ego. Break yours. Be rule number 7. Don't break her ego. Break yours. All right. Here's the twist you didn't see coming after everything we've talked about. Stop stopping the validation, seeking, mastering silence, building an irresistible life, setting boundaries, detaching emotionally, and being unapologetically authentic. You might think the final step is about her, about breaking her ego, but it's not. The ultimate way to break her ego is by breaking free from your own. Yeah, you heard that right. It's your ego that's been holding you back this whole time. Your ego is what makes you insecure. Sure, it's what fuels your jealousy. It's the little voice in your head that's desperate for validation, that needs constant reassurance, that's terrified of rejection. And as long as you let your ego run the show, you'll stay stuck in this endless cycle, overthinking, overreacting, trying to prove your worth to people who probably aren't even thinking about you. So what do? You break free from it. Let go of the need to prove yourself. Stop letting your worth be defined by whether she texts you back, whether she compliments you, whether she stays or goes. None of that matters. When you're grounded in who you are, focus on your own growth, your own purpose, your own happiness. Because when you do that, when you stop chasing validation and start chasing excellence, everything changes. When you're no longer ruled by your ego, you become unstoppable. You transcend the games, the drama, the endless tug of war for power. You stop getting pulled into petty arguments. You stop worrying about who's got the upper hand, and you start operating on a whole different level, a level where you lead, not chase. And here's the irony. The moment you stop caring about breaking her ego, the moment you break yours, that's when you become the high-value man she can't ignore, because you're not playing by anyone else's rules anymore. You're living for you, and that kind of self-assuredness, that's rare, that's powerful, and it's magnetic, not just to women, but to everyone around you. So here's what I want you to take away from all this. The man you are today, that's the result of every choice you've made up until now. But the man you want to become, that's in your hands, every decision from here on out, whether you lead or chase, whether you stand tall or fold, whether you live for others, no goal approval, or for your own growth, that's up to you. Because once you make that decision, once you commit to becoming the best version of yourself, there's no going back. You're not just becoming a high-value man, you're becoming the man, and that's a journey worth taking. Music. Conclusion. The man you are today, that's the sum of every choice you've made up until now. Every time you sought validation, avoided setting boundaries, or let your ego control you, it shaped who you are, the man you want to become. That's entirely in your hands. Are you ready to stop chasing approval and start leading your own life? Ready to reclaim your confidence, your purpose, and your peace of mind? Because no one's coming to save you. It's on you to rise up, take control, and become the man you were meant to be. If you're ready to make that shift, drop a comment below. I am ready to be a high-value man. Thank you for watching Stoic Heartbeat. If this resonated with you, don't stop here. Subscribe, explore more of our content, and let's continue this Stoic journey together, because life isn't about chasing. It's about living fully and letting attraction flow naturally. We'd love to hear your thoughts or suggestions for future topics. So drop a comment below. Let's build a community full of wisdom and peace together. See you in the next video.